All right. Welcome, everybody, again. We're having another one of our amazing ag sector career chats happening over here at Green to Grain on our YouTube channel today. So thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with us. And for those of you turning in for the first time, Green to Grain is here to help connect veterans to careers in the agricultural sector who are either transitioning or getting ready to retire. So if you are a veteran and you are looking for some career resources, if you're looking to get some firsthand knowledge on a variety of careers within the ag sector or that complement ag very well, you've come to the right place, and we're so glad you're here. To find more resources, you can check out our website, and I'll put that in the comments of the video at the conclusion of our live. So I am very excited and happy to welcome our guest speaker today. We are going to hear from Brittany Hamilton over in northeastern Wyoming, and she works as a 4-H and youth development educator with the extension from the University of Wyoming. So thank you for joining us today, Brittany.
Hey, Courtney, thanks for having me today. I'm excited to be part of this project to help our veterans connect more with agriculture if that's their passion, and be happy to talk to you today. So excited.
Yay. Well, thank you. I'm very glad that you could jump on. Brittany's not only an expert in her field when it comes to the extension and ag sector, but she's also been a longtime friend of mine. So I'm very thankful that we could get on and chat and hang out together. It's been good. So she's gonna go ahead and tell us a little bit about the role of an extension agent, and also how her role with 4-H and youth development plays into that as well.
Yeah, so extension is huge. Usually you might have heard of people who work in extension being referred to as coordinators or agents. Back in the day, it was like, go talk to your county agent if you wanted to know anything about agriculture or bugs or plants or 4-H or anything like that. So extension has grown a lot since its birth. I work for the University of Wyoming, so most extension is through a university or a land grant university or a college. And we are stationed out in the counties within the state that we work for. So I'm in Weston County in Wyoming. It's in the northeast. And extension is ultimately, the people who work in extension are servants to the public. Extension has many branches, which include like community development, livestock, range, 4-H and youth development, sensible nutrition and food safety. We are kind of the liaisons between the university's research and the public. We try to share the university's knowledge with the public. And so we're kind of the boots on the ground for the university, and some of this awesome information that our age is blessed with, that is our job, is to give that to the public and to help educate them on matters that help their quality of life, and if they have any questions like that. So that's kind of what we do. And then what I do is I am a 4-H and youth development specialist. So I work very closely with the 4-H program here in my county, and I pay attention to the state side of things with the university and our state 4-H program, and relay that information to my county. I'm also in charge of training and helping people become involved as volunteers and leaders. I help recruit members and share projects and information for them. And I also coordinate a lot of different events, such as like 4-H camp, and I help with fair. And it's not just me. I have a wonderful team of volunteers, and I work closely with many committees like our Junior Livestock Committee and Fair Board and our fairgrounds to put on all these events. And it's not just about the animals. We do a lot on the other side of things as far as like art, photography. We have a very strong robotics program in our county now. So there's a lot of different things that are involved in 4-H now besides just livestock, which a lot of people don't realize. So that's kind of a little bit about what I do.
Very cool. I love that Extension provides so many resources within, your local area, wherever you are. I am obviously a big proponent of connecting people to resources. So I'm very happy that that exists, and it has been around for a long, long, long time. And benefits of the program have been reaped by so many people. And that's really exciting. I also wanted to quickly touch on a shameless plug for 4-H. I was in for a long time. Brittany was in for a long time, and now my kids are in 4-H as well. So you can, if you have kids, it's a great youth program. It's a great way to help root them in your community. So our kids have been in 4-H now in 2 states, which is pretty cool because of the way that we've moved and whatnot. So that's pretty exciting. And also, it's a good way for you to get involved on a volunteer basis as well. Veterans have a lot of skills that can translate into some really cool project areas. So if you have done some working with robots in your career space, come on in. You would be a great asset as a volunteer to that program. Shooting sports is another one that I am an avid advocate for our veterans to come in and give these youth some great information on safely handling firearms and those things as well. You're all very skilled and knowledgeable in that area, and then in all of your hobbies as well. So great way to volunteer and to jump in and become a part of your community as well as an adult, and just meet some more people and make use of your skills and your hobbies and all of the things that you've learned. And I think those volunteer roles also really help in the transitional time when you're trying to root yourself in your area. So if you aren't sure how to begin, you can find your 4-H educator at your extension office and learn about volunteering that way as well. I had to get my 4-H plug in there a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, Courtney. I will say that the majority of our shooting sports leaders currently are retired veterans in our community, and they love nothing better than to show our youth how to safely handle firearms, and we love them. They are wonderful to have in our community, and we honestly wouldn't have as strong of a shooting sports program without them, because they can actually work and maintenance a lot of the firearms that we do use. We have county equipment that we lend out, and they're able to service a lot of that, and they know a lot about it, and it's great to have people like that. And one more thing about 4-H is it's not just about the projects. The whole point of the program is to provide that youth development for kids that are between the ages of 8 to 18. We provide hands-on learning through projects to help them with youth development, and also present them with life skills that will help them be successful contributing adults. That is the goal of 4-H, and we do that with a multitude of different tools and events and experiences that we provide. So just know it's not all just about the projects. So.
Absolutely. Great program for those of you with kids to really consider getting them involved in. So I know that Brittany grew up heavily in ag. Like I said, we've been friends for a very long time, and I thought it might be fun if you would like to share a little bit about your ag background with us.
Sure. So I am actually fortunate enough to work in the county that I was born and raised in the town that I was born and raised in. My family ranches about 30 miles outside of Newcastle, Wyoming. We have a combination of some private land and some leased land that we run a cow-calf operation on. And we do have some dry land hay as well that we put up every year. So, and that's been in our family for about 3 generations or 4 now. So that's really exciting, and it's really fun to grow up in that lifestyle. I grew up in a lot of the projects I took were like cattle and sheep and pigs, so heavily involved in livestock and agriculture. So
very cool. Very cool. So we've talked a lot about extension and the different ways that helps to stay connected to ag. But what's your favorite thing that this career path has allowed you to do to keep connected to ag and your background?
So I knew when I went to college, I wanted to stay involved with agriculture in some way, shape, or form, but also be true to myself and the talents that and gifts that God gave me. And so I really like communication. I really like educating public about agriculture. And I originally started out to be an FFA teacher and an ag advisor, but through the course of time changed that. And I was always interested in extension. I grew up going through the 4-H and FFA programs with Courtney, actually. So that's where a lot of our roots go deep into. And I think that one of my favorite things about my job and being involved with extension is we get to educate people, and we get to have those relationships with people and tell them about agriculture or whatever the field of study that you are. It all relates back to agriculture. It doesn't matter if you're a sensible nutritionist. It doesn't matter if you're a shooting sports leader. It doesn't matter if you're in 4-H or range or livestock or any of the branches of extension. It all ties back to agriculture in some fashion. And we get to help people understand how they can connect to agriculture and where a lot of their food or their clothing and a lot of things like that come from. And I personally love the flexibility with this job. As a 4-H educator, I wear many hats and I do many things from marketing to writing articles to actually putting on a workshop myself to teaching to letting other people teach a workshop, but just scheduling it. So there's just a lot of flexibility in this particular career, but I love that its roots are in agriculture and it can ultimately kind of take you wherever your area of expertise is.
That's really, really awesome. And I think that it's important to note, like Brittany said, that there are different areas of extension. So, you can, if range is what you're interested in, you can go that route. If working with kids is what you're passionate about, you can go that route. If health and wellness is where your passion comes in, you can go that route. So there's lots of different ways that you can be involved with a career in extension and still hit the areas that you feel are best suited for you and your skills and your personality and what you're interested in. I've come to find that when you're passionate about an area, it's really easy to spread that passion to others. And I see Brittany do that all the time with the youth that she works with. That passion that she has is so noticeable to the people that she's serving in her county. So that is great. And we'll close out with, I just want to know what your best piece of advice for making use of extension in your area, no matter where you are in the country, would be for, whether it's veterans who are separating and retiring, maybe a military family who's just moved to an area. How can they jump in and find their extension and make use of those great resources?
So each community, each county generally has an extension office located within that county. It may not be in your direct town, but it could be wherever your county seat is. Really easy to find usually. All you usually have to do is go to your main university for that state. And that information, you could type in Nebraska Extension or Utah Extension, and it will take you a lot of the times to, and you can narrow it down to your local extension agent. You can also usually probably find their information like online or in the phone book or honestly just word of mouth. The information is very public and they want to help you. Like their job is to help you. And I hope that they're as passionate about their jobs as I am, where they really just can't wait for your phone call. Email is also really great. They're usually easy to find also on Facebook. If you're in a particular area, you can type in the county, like Weston County Extension or Wyoming or wherever you're at. That's an easy way to find it. And then as far as connecting, definitely just spend some time finding out what your interests are and what you want to learn about. And approach your extension agent with those kind of questions. Like if you really want to get into canning, they're an excellent resource for that. Or like if you're interested in doing some hydroponic gardening, or some different things to help you keep busy or just kind of be more involved in the community. Even we have community development extension agents that are like, oh, I would totally take you, like, can you help with farmers market, or like, how can we build community events, if you're into like being more involved with the people. Or so like I would definitely just get in touch, but spend some time thinking, okay, I'm making this transition. We've just moved to a new area. How can I get involved? If you have kids, maybe check out the 4-H program and see what they're strong. Every program is going to look a little different, and they're going to have some certain strengths and weaknesses in their program. It doesn't matter where you go. Maybe they have an awesome program in livestock, or maybe they have an awesome program in photography. There's lots of different avenues for your children that way. And again, like touching back to what Courtney was saying, is like you can always, if you're interested in volunteering, 4-H is a great avenue as a leader, or a club leader, even if you're interested in helping more, being more involved on that level. And then if you're more interested in other areas like cooking, we also have nutrition and food safety and sensible nutrition information. So if you want to learn more about cooking, that's an easy way to connect as well. So there's so much information that we have access to. And I know that if most agents, if they don't know the answer, they're very willing to find it for you. And so those are just some great ways to connect, and what you can hopefully expect from your office if you can find it. So
Absolutely. And once you're done transitioning, don't lose that resource. Extension is something you continue to go to and can continue to learn and build your own resource bank with the expertise of those that you're able to work hand in hand with. And that's pretty cool. So even if you don't know what your question is, most of the time they love it for you to just come in and say, hey, I'm here. Teach me all of the things about this subject. And they will most of the time do everything they can to help you out with that. So,
or direct you in the right direction. Like maybe that's not my area of expertise, but I know so-and-so and I can direct you there. And so they try really hard to connect you with someone who's going to have that information for you usually. And another thing too is a way to connect with Extension is maybe if you're in that transition period, and maybe you want to consider Extension as a career opportunity for yourself. That is totally an opportunity for you as well. I know that in Wyoming, you do not have to have a master's, but I know in other states you do to work as an extension educator. So especially in the specialized areas such as like range, livestock, some of the sensible nutrition requires a master's, but there's lots of different opportunities, and I'm sure years of experience are taken into account there as well. So.
Absolutely. So if you are interested in a career in extension, that's a great thing to look into. If you know where you're going to be settled, you can kind of get an idea of what level of education you might need and where you need to go as far as those things go. And you can ask those type of questions too in your area. Hey, I'm interested in going into range extension. What would you say I would need to study, or best, places to get the education that I need for that? And again, the liaisons there are just very helpful and supportive people. I love them because they are kind of, in essence, the same as what I do, in that the wheel is there and they are these spokes that are connecting all of those great things to help the wheel run even larger scale. And it's been working with the extension program for years and years and years. So they've got a great resource network available for you. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in today. And thank you, Brittany, for your time to speak with our listeners. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments and I will direct them her way at the conclusion of our live and we'll get some good answers for you. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in and stay tuned for our next Ag Sector Career Chat.
Thank you, Courtney. Thanks for having me.
Anytime.